Good morning from Newcastle, and I'm setting off today on a journey from darkness to the light. Yes, my plan is to go by transport, by walking, to go from St James's Park, Newcastle, home of Newcastle United, which is the darkness, and end up in Sunderland at the Stadium of Light, which is, of course, the light. Come as no surprise that I come from a family of Sunderland supporters, and the only one of my relatives to actually support Newcastle, Uncle Harry, if you're watching, was banished to Australia for his sins. So anyway, join me on this journey from darkness to light. Okay, so the first part of this trip is me leaving Newcastle on the bus towards Whitley Bay. It's not the most direct route to the Stadium of Light, but I thought I'd work my way down the coast from Whitley Bay to Sunderland and use the ferry to cross the Tyne between North Shields and South Shields. So first part of the journey, about 50 minutes to Whitley Bay. Okay, so my first stop on the way to the Stadium of Light from Newcastle is to get right to the North Sea coast here at Whitley Bay, and I'm heading down towards the seafront. And there's been a noticeable decrease in temperature and increase in the ferocity and iciness of the wind, so beginning to regret not having another layer. Maybe I'll have to buy one if I'm going to walk along the coast for an hour, which was my plan, to get to North Shields and to get the ferry across to South Shields, where I was then going to get a bus towards Sunderland. Maybe I'll have to revise my plans and kind of get a bus along the coast. I don't know. We'll see how the day progresses. Okay, it's very windy. The waves crashing in here on the North Sea, venting its fury. The wind turbines going crazy out at sea, generating huge amounts of power, hopefully. The lighthouse keeping the ships safe. Oh, it's tremendously windy, but we are in Britain, and there's some award-winning fish and chips available there. And what could be nicer than, with the temperatures feeling like about 0 degrees, to have some fish and chips out in the open air by the seaside. Alright, so I'm going to walk along to the northern end of Whitley Bay, see what's on offer, and then either walk back or I might get the bus back. We'll see how it goes. It is freezing. Shingley Beach, and there's a few people on it, and then there's quite a lot of people on the path by the beach. I know it is half term, and in fairness, the schools are on holiday, and it is a seaside town, but the fortitude of these people braving the elements, I think, is to be admired. The one thing I'm slightly disappointed with, really, is that no one's actually braving the North Sea. Well, I say that, some kids are trying to, play with the waves, running in and out, but there's no one actually in the water, which is probably just as well, probably quite dangerous. But it would be interesting to see if people were going in February. I don't know what the hell this is all about. But, got the rainbow wheel here, the Virginia reel, and we've got some, I guess, sandcastle statues. Bit of art. This is quite pleasant. If the wind wasn't so ferocious, it would be a very pleasant walk along the seafront here. Certainly blowing away the cobwebs. Alright, looks like quite a long walk along the seafront to the north, and then I just have to double back. So on second thoughts, I am just going to turn around and I am going to head this way. I'm going to head south and see how far along I get towards Tynemouth and North Shields. Well, and hopefully go to Tynemouth, then turn west towards North Shields, where I get the ferry across to South Shields, and then I'll evaluate what to do next. All right, okay, so let's do that. Bracing conditions here at Whitley Bay in Tyne Weir by the North Sea. Oh, there's some great wave action around here. Look, smashing against the sea walls, smashing against each other out there as the waves are reflected away from the seawall, protecting the coast. So I don't know if this is Cullercoats or what. There you are, look, little bay, a little bit more sheltered from the wind, but still quite cold. These houses got fantastic kind of view over the coast, and then in the distance I think you can see Tynemouth there with the kind of breakwater and the waves crashing into it. So that's where I'm heading. Alright, as I said, the sky a little bit more ominous than earlier. Alright, let's continue to head south. More properties with amazing views over the sea here. So look at the waves crashing in. Strangely beautiful, a little bit intimidating. Right, let's press on. So some fishermen's boats kind of brought well out of the water for the winter period. Very wise, I feel. I think we are in Cullercoats now, and which is just south of Whitley Bay. There's a pub, Queen's Head. I guess the bell would have told when the lifeboat was going to get called out. So Cullercoats lifeboat station. Given the nature of the water around here, I'm surprised they're ever off duty. And a nice sheltered cove here with some breakwaters. Look, the water crashing in over the northern one. All right, and it's coming around here. We got like a clock. Very dramatic scenes here. February days by the North Sea. So as the rain, or is it a little bit snowy, comes down. Look, Dove Marine Laboratory, 1908. So the forefront of marine research here, right on the coast at Cullercoats, and be quite good for weather observations as well, I feel. I've got some cones tumbling down the cliff. Alright, let's move on. Absolutely fantastic waves crashing in the distance over the breakwaters there. Really magnificent. Got a really nice stretch of sand here. A lovely bay. There's lots of people out walking on it. No one in the water, not surprisingly. And there, lots and lots of wave action. Being driven in by this stiff easterly wind. And really is tremendous. Now, unfortunately, my phone is virtually dead. So I have got a plan. I've got a power bank with me. So I do intend to continue to walk. But to basically put my phone away and only bring it out for the odd snap while my power bank is hopefully charging it up. So I will see you further along the coast. You might get the odd picture on my way south. But I think you've got the impression of what the day's like. Some fantastic wave action, nice beaches, bracing winds, the northeast in February. Right, I will see you later on. Just before I do put my phone away, I didn't realise, but apparently we have hit Tynemouth. So we're leaving Cullercoats and Tynemouth we are now at. And then I've got to cut inland when I hit the breakwater and make my way to North Shields, where I will get the ferry. I mean, that's unbelievably optimistic on a day like today, but I guess people are buying maybe the candy floss rather than the ice cream. Right, this seems to be the, as I said it before, the beating heart of Tynemouth. I'm going to head down, I think, towards the Priory and Castle. Sounds exciting. So let's do that now. Take advantage of the zebra crossing. Oh, made it to Tynemouth, Priory and Castle. That looks good. I haven't got enough time to explore it now. But that looked like well fortified. And I'm now virtually at the mouth of the Tyne, as the name of the place would suggest. So I need to turn inland in a minute and work my way to North Shields to catch the ferry. Let's have a look. The clock tower here. The Mayor Alderman.
You get down this way.
Little shout out for Lane Away. Very good. Okay, I'm just going to grab something from the co-op and then make my way round to the North Shields ferry. Fantastic wave action. Look at that. Oh, yes. Okay, so as you see, the good news is the sun's back out. The bad news is it's added zero feeling of warmth, but it is a spectacular coastline. Look at that wave action. Huge bench with big cycle next to it, and then we've got the Collingwood Monument around here. So let's have a little look at that as I make my way around to the North Shields ferry. Okay, I think it's the Collingwood Monument. I think that's what it's called. Impressive. So making my way down now to the mouth of the Tyne. There is an absolutely enormous breakwater wall on the other side, on the south side of the Tyne. Stretches a great distance out into the North Sea, presumably to smooth the passage for shipping. Look at that, and then it's capped off with a little lighthouse at the end of it. All right, so I need now to make my way along the banks of the River Tyne to try and catch this ferry from North Shields, which I can see in front of me. So rather than viewing from behind, there's the great man looking out over the mouth of the River Tyne. Okay, so approaching North Shields, and I'm just wondering now where the ferry is across the river to take me to South Shields. Got some nautical sort of things around here. Shall I go this way? Yes. Oh no. Let's go round past this monument. Sculpture, artwork, whatever you want to call it. There's a guy sitting on those things that you tie boats up to, the name of which escapes me. All right, now we've also got like a little, almost like, looks like a little white lighthouse. Look at that. There you are. Also, I wonder if you can cut through here. Can't really get round past the lifeboat station there. Hopefully you can cut through here. There's the old barracks building. Now, I'm led to believe the ferries go on the hour-and-a-half hour from North Shields, maybe from the other side as well. I don't know if they just cross or whether there's one. Maybe they go on the 1/4 and 1/4 on the other side, I don't know. And it's rapidly approaching 3 o'clock. So will I make the 3 or will it be the 3:30? Right, let's get a move on. I was taken in land a little bit. I've got 5 minutes, assuming that they allow people to board right at the last minute. I have no idea really how far. I've still got to go along the banks of the river to get there. But here in North Shields, there's a variety of eateries, pubs and bars that you can frequent as I'm walking alongside on the other side of the road, really trying hard to reach this ferry before it departs at 3 o'clock. No shortage of fishing vessels, but no sign of the ferry. I think the time has come to maybe ask somebody. Don't think it goes from along there. Right, obviously further along. And there's no way I'm going to make the 3. Well, unbelievable news as they pass this sort of I don't know what, the fisherman, I guess, or fishmonger statue. Right. Apparently, the ferry might be off. Apparently, the landing was damaged a little while ago, and so, in good British fashion, there seems to be a bus replacement service for the ferry. I've no idea how that gets across the river by a tunnel, I think someone said. Right, so the Tyne Tunnel. Let me just double check. Apparently it's a little bit further around here before I can finally have that confirmed. But yes, disappointing news. I was looking forward to a ferry across the Tyne. I've done a ferry across the Mersey. Ferry across the Tyne would be good, but apparently not today. But let's just find out for sure. Well, my worst fears have been realised, and the Shields ferry service is suspended until at least the end of February. Because it was the North ferry line was significantly damaged during Storm Chandra, and the repairs will take at least a few weeks to complete. So disappointing. I'll have to make my way to South Shields. If I get to South Shields, another way. Right, plan B. Well, the best laid plans. Look, this is what I was going to do. I was going to get the ferry across, get to South Shields, and then make my way down to the Stadium of Light. However, the South Shields ferry not operating has meant I've had to come all the way back on a bus because this line is out of action. Back into Newcastle, so I'm at the central station. So I think I'm going to bin South Shields and just get the green line down to the Stadium of Light and have my tea somewhere around here. So that's my plan now. Looks busy. So one of my granddads used to work at the Monk Wearmouth colliery, the site of which is now the football stadium, and he used to go out under the North Sea mining coal. I'm going to say those were the days, but I wouldn't fancy doing it myself. Well, earlier on today I set out from the darkness from Newcastle St James Park, and I arrive at the light, the Stadium of Light. Despite the dimming illumination as the sun has set now, it's good to be here. So been a bit of an adventure as well, like whenever you travel from the darkness to the light, there might be challenges on the way. I've walked quite a lot of miles. I've seen some quite intimidating weather, but I really enjoyed it. Despite having to go back into Newcastle after finding the ferry had been cancelled, but it's been a great day. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.